Welcome and hello and welcome. It's un poco mas. It's me, Danny Deals on a Monday. A little bit cranky, a little bit Karenish, but that's the best my personality gets. Welcome and hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us on an absolutely what looked like another dismal day for Sofi Stock investors or traders or just lurkers, broke douchebags, whatever the case may be. There's my alarm telling me to start this turd, but the stock came back with a vengeance here, looking back to jump back up to that 650 level. This just kind of illustrates a point, guys. This is not trading. These are not people. This is not real life. Like David after dentist, he's like, is this real life? No, this is not real life. And I'll tell you why. Like, look at this time period where they just stepped the stock down from, $6.50 to $6.30 at a 45-degree angle. You think, oh, people are selling the stock. Everybody's panicking. It broke 650. Everybody knows it's going to break down below 5. And then you go over and just take a look at the live shorting and the borrowing on the stock, and you see just the exact same thing. The 45-degree, borrowing 11 million shares. And when you're only seeing churn of 32.5 million shares and you have borrowing of 11 million, of course they're going to be able to control the stock. And you see the shallow bull pattern. You guys have seen this a million times if you watch this absolute turd of a channel. Guys, by the way, what's wrong with me? Where are my manners? My mom raised me a little bit better than that, guys. It's un poco mas. And I have been remiss. Hello and welcome. Welcome and hello. Hola y bienvenidos. Welcome and hello. Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us, guys. There's more important things than stock prices and money and profits and covered calls and cash secured puts and whatever Alberto's calling himself today. There's more important things, and that's civility. That's a proper greeting. That's being able to reach out and shake hands and say, welcome and hello and hello and welcome. It's your old buddy, Danny Deals. And I know what many of you are saying. Hey, I don't have a buddy, Danny Deals. You do now, friend. Anyway, guys, enough of my absolutely horrible shtick. Welcome and hello. It's un poco mas. Thank you for joining me. It's one of those days where it illustrates just how much of a trading stock this is, just how much mechanics have their hooks in it. Really, really good article, guys. I know many of you like to live in a, thought bubble in your mom's basement, just hitting a dry jerk with your tears every time the stock goes down. But I highly, and I cannot emphasize this enough, I'm talking with my hands so you morons understand the emphasis I'm trying to make. No, Versa Tennis Clips is here. Hello and welcome. That's a foot fault. You're calling a foot fault in a recreational game? I'm a 3.0. You're not even playing. You're watching. Who's this fat guy calling a foot fault? Hey, it's a foot fault. I'm a stickler for the rules. Anyway, guys, SoFi, the smart money is short by IP Banking Research. This, again, goes through the criticism of the accounting system. I've actually talked to some experts about this, and it's not just FUD. It's a legitimate criticism in the sense that when SoFi, makes a personal loan and puts that on their books right away, they recognize an increased value of that loan up front. So the argument is, it's more risk, it's more exposure. Basically, they have their nose wide open to unsecured consumer debt. And that's true. However, the mark for sale thing, I think that's honest. I think SoFi intends to sell almost all those loans at some point. It was a little bit of an anomaly when interest rates spiked to, 20-year highs, and NOTO's saying, look, we can make a lot more money, return on our cash, return on our capital by holding these loans on our books, at least if not all the way for the life of the loan, at least longer. Instead of 6 months, maybe we hold them a year, maybe we hold them 14 months, whatever it was. So remember also that SoFi chose this accounting system It's a different accounting system. You guys, you've probably read all these criticisms and the difference between the two accounting systems. But it has to do with how they mark their loans, when they mark their loans, how, differences in defaults affect their accounting, and the idea being they're very, very exposed. So if we get this hard landing, we get, kind of a tsunami of defaults, a perfect storm, and the economy just crashes. SoFi is going to be absolutely dead in the water, and that's where they're going to have to do that Chiaverini capital raise at the worst possible time under the worst possible conditions. Will lead to heavy, heavy dilution. The sky's falling. Chicken Little is here, and but guys, really good article, well written, well reasoned, and it gives just an excellent explanation. The thing I would disagree with, and kind of the crystal, if you gaze into my musty, foggy crystal balls, you will see that Anthony Noto is telling you, Chris LaPointe just really, really reiterated, hey, we're very confident in our numbers for 2026, and very smart people like Deadliest Catch Chris and Tanner and some other people, around the YouTube stratosphere, but even the smart guys are saying, like, man, it's really kind of a leap of faith that they're going to get there in 2026. And I just think people are not really adding 2 + 2 and getting 2026, because if you think about what Tevis was talking about when we had him on as a guest recently on Un Poco Mas, and again, I'd like to thank Not a Lurker J Money for that get. Tevis is quite a get in the FinTurd community. So, and a really good interview. Just an intelligent guy, and he really knows this area. So, and his mastery of corporate jargon is frankly second to none.
We're gaining traction. I'm at capacity.
Oh, I love my sound effect corporate jargon.
Let's really drill down on this.
This thing is a lot smarter than I am. But anyway, guys, so if you go into this product life cycle, not just the product life cycle, but the customer acquisition life cycle, that's really key. How do they acquire a customer at Galileo? How long does it take to onboard that customer? When Tevis was talking about, and he works in tech, he knows what he's talking about. Like he knows mergers, he knows how implementing a completely new technology system works at a company. Is saying, hey, this is going to take at least 2 years from when SoFi, responds to the request for proposal. You take that through to an initial proof of concept. They start whittling down, the vendors. Then they go down further to just maybe a couple or a few vendors. They do detailed proof of concept that probably takes at least an additional year. So he's saying 2 years. I've heard people say 30 months. So I'm just gonna assume 30 months. And then I know, guys, this is like a Rorschach psychotic thing whenever you see my whiteboard, but I guarantee you I just have, poor penmanship. And this is more for my use. But if you look at the timeline, people think, well, it's just a crazy guess of speculation of where these tech revenues are going to be in 2026. Why? I mean, if you really think about it, if just January 2026, these tech revenues have to be coming in, quite heavily for management to get to those projections. And Chris LaPointe just reiterated and sounded very, very confident. And I'm saying they're sandbagging those projections, and you could see EPS in excess of 80 cents if we don't get that hard landing. But that's neither here nor there. Guys, I got to take a breath and a drink of water. I've been talking without in the air for 9 minutes now. But once again, and sometimes in our fast workaday world, where we're all online and it's go, 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 we just forget a nice greeting. So let me say welcome, hello, hello and welcome, and welcome and hello. It's Un Poco Mas, guys. We're trying to give you just a little bit more. A lot of people, refer to me as like, when they're want to whip on the shameless pumpers. They're like, just because I have like SoFi shirts and gold chains. But seriously, guys, I think it's really critical that for anything you invest in, you really take a hard look at what the bears are saying and a lot of it has validity. SoFi is not a sure thing. We're all thinking, okay, it is a good business model. We do have good management. However, it's really in its infancy. And if the economy just crashes and everybody's out of a job, things will get very, very difficult for SoFi. But I just think that's a doom and gloom scenario that is fairly unlikely, because the economy, you see inflation starting to cool, especially on like the industrials, some of these jobs numbers. I mean, the jobs numbers last time were a little bit hot, but the inflation number starts coming down. So the real economy is kind of starting to do a little bit better. I worry about like the Saudis, like just hitting right before the election, really hitting energy prices or something like that. Obviously they're, want one side to win. They want, Trump to win. They've given all this money to Kushner. They kind of, they're not really pro-America. They just kind of switched a lot of things over to the Chinese currency. So I think, we could definitely see some shocks to the system pre-election that might hit SoFi. But again, keep your eye on the prize. How does management get out here to 2026? So these RFPs, if you go with a 30-month life cycle to start generating real revenues in January 2026, that has to come in all the way back in June, July 2023. So management has been looking at these now for a year. So with a smaller clientele, with a smaller company, with somebody more established, remember, they're not selling necessarily their full suite of services like they might be to a major bank or some financial institution where they're like, okay, this is going to be this 2 to 3 year process to sell you this product, and then we're going to be your backbone for the next 20 years. That's great, but there's all kinds of other clients too that might be onboarded much more quickly. So that's what LaPointe was talking about. We have clients coming on at every stage. We have some where the revenues are starting. We have some where we're just onboarding them. We have some large, some medium. So make sure you go back and actually read the transcript of what LaPointe said. And better yet, listen to the audio to hear the tone of his voice and how absolutely confident he was in those numbers. He'll have his vengeance in this life or the next. That's one of the things I was a little bit shocked to hear Chris LaPointe say that. Just vowing vengeance in this life or the next against these shorts. Maybe I was reading between the lines a little bit, but I thought I heard him say that. I thought. Guys, welcome and hello and welcome. Thank you, Not a Lurker. I'm not sure if this is filtered or not. Ugh, I think I have a mustache hair in there. Yeah. Anyway, guys, the perils of facial hair are many and fraught with disaster. But anyway, guys, welcome and hello. So you see Chris LaPointe saying tech ramping. So he knows these revenues that are going to come a year and a half out. And he can sort of look at the writing on the wall. He can see which way the wind is blowing. He can predict how many of these contracts are actually going to convert. And he knows the model. People are like, oh, they're just talking. Like, who knows if it's ever going to lead to any revenue? No, guys, that's not how this works. They don't get into these detailed proof of concepts, these contracts over a year, 2 years, and then just have no idea what that model is going to look like, what that business relationship is going to look like. That's not how this works. They're going to pick the services they want. There's going to be revenues. It's going to be a contract. It's going to be, really official. This is not napkin math. Hello and welcome. Alberto's blocking everyone. Welcome and hello, Alberto. Let me go back and just say hello and welcome to Jabroni Brains is here. Obviously, Wes is locked in the basement. Hello and welcome, Jabroni Brains. Oprah's Thick SoFi Bag is here. Hello and welcome, good sir. M. Russo is here. Hello and welcome. Alberto, of course, is here. Our big wrench. Let's see. Mustang Rider checking in from Nashville. Good morning, sir. Danny Dimes is here. Danny Dimes, once again. John Bland is here. 1,800 shares, 632. Nicely bought. The stock kind of popped back up toward the 650 level, coming back at 645. So this was basically just another big shakeout, and this wasn't actually a usual SoFi pattern. You usually see kind of a more extreme sell-off than a hump. So this is really different. I mean, there was a ton of volume yesterday. So there is definitely a change coming into the stock. And again, they slowed down a lot shorting the stock last week, 28, Wednesday, 28% on the short volume ratio. Tuesday, 38%, Monday, 39%. Even the previous Friday was only 40, and then 29 again below that, 34. So these are the lowest numbers we've seen in recent memory in terms of SoFi. And then boom, they slam the door again, just absolutely demolish the stock, 58.66, and very, very heavy borrowing again today. Just 12 million, I think 11 million shares net into about 35 million shares traded. So unusual options activity. They're talking about Benzinga. So, of course, the big news is the Qataris dumped a huge block, all their shares. NOTO bought 30,000 shares, but that's kind of like, throwing sand into the beach or pissing into the wind. Or, I mean, it's a nice gesture, Papa, but, doesn't really help when 20 million shares just being dumped unceremoniously in the sixes. And some turd, I like one of the bears. I think I couldn't tell if he's a troll, but I was just kind of testing him. But it's like, yeah, they sold probably at a big loss, and I was like, no, because I wanted to see if he actually knew or not. But yeah, he's right. They sold at a huge loss. I think they invested almost $500 million into SoFi. This was pre-IPO. They've been in the stock a long time. They probably just lost patience. I mean, but obviously it was a dumb investment at those levels. And I mean, some of these Middle Eastern sovereign wealth funds, they're run by like their princes and cousins and stuff. And I know they went to Cambridge and Harvard and all these schools, but I don't know. I mean, they're pouring money into companies like Lucid. And I mean, I just look at some of this stuff. I'm like, that doesn't mean as much to me if like BlackRock or Fidelity, sold all their shares. That's just me. I'm not trying to say the people running like the Qatari sovereign wealth funds don't know what they're doing, but I'm just saying they might have just lost patience with the stock and just decided to take their losses, and they might have had something else they wanted to free up cash to invest in. Who knows? There's all kinds of reasons people sell stocks, but maybe they see more downside, like the author here on Seeking Alpha. It's hard to say. Dan Dolev came out and reiterated his buy at $12, 90% upside the other day, which was good to see. And again, remember, he's one of the few analysts actually doing the work. It's not just the conference, but before that, he had, one of those days where he hosts LaPointe and some of the other SoFi Brain Trust, and they go over all his questions, all of his reservations. Basically, they drill down into areas they're concerned about on the stock, some of the things the company doesn't, put out there, some of the things perhaps the company doesn't like to talk about. But I think, LaPointe is really, open, going point by point. And I don't think this accounting system, like, yes, it front loads some things at the beginning, but personal loans do not have an extremely long, product life cycle. Most people are prepaying these. And he's like, well, SoFi customers might have 740 FICOs, but they're still, if there's carnage in the streets, yes, if there's carnage in the streets, everybody's screwed. I mean, nobody's saying SoFi is going to survive like an apocalyptic scenario, like our shit don't stink. That's not how it works, guys. SoFi is very, susceptible to massive defaults in very, very, high quality unsecured personal debt. But that kind of means the wheels have come off, right? I mean, if that debt crumbles, what do you think's happening to the type of debt generated by a company like an Upstart or an Affirm? Some of these buy now, pay later characters. What do you think's going on at the check cashing places? What do you think's going on at some of these, paycheck? I forget what they're called, payday loan companies. I don't think SoFi is going to be, in that big of trouble unless it's just the shit hits the fan scenario, and the whole system of debt starts to look like it's in trouble, because SoFi does have high quality loans, and yes, they have a ton of personal debt on their books, but as noted, they're pulling back on those originations. So kind of the criticism you get into with their accounting system that, they assume too much and take too much, right up at origination, that's going down, and more of the loans are getting older as a ratio. So they should be in trouble there, but they're really not. So you have to look at the fact, guys, Q2 is almost over. Once again, I say, if you want to sell, but sell based on the numbers, sell based on the earnings report. Don't just sell on this pre-ER FUD to attack the stock. Look at the timing of this. Look at the chart. It's such a fugazi. This is not how this looks like a sea monster. I think we found Nessie. Have we found Nessie? Oh no, it's just a floating log. This footage was clearly revolution. It's like, those are funny. Like, I don't know if during COVID you guys ever watched any of those like chasing Loch Ness monster shows or any of that. Like oh my God, my favorite is the chasing Bigfoot guys, Bobo. I want to get Bobo. If not, a lurker can work on landing Bobo on Umpoko Moss from chasing Bigfoot. Like these guys, first off, they've never been able to get one single hair from a Bigfoot to establish a DNA. Yet there's like, according to them, there's tens of thousands of them, and they live almost everywhere. Like they saw one at the truck stop here. They saw one over at Jethro's house. They're literally everywhere, from like Florida to Maine, all through Canada, Alaska, all down through Northern California, all across the United States is just populated with massive families of Bigfoots. And they're telling you, like, no, because they live in groups of 7 to 10, and they eat late at night and even make fires, and they bury their dead. They've been known to make clothing. They use a checkered pattern because, they like Argyle. What are you talking about? You haven't been able to get a photograph of one. You have game cameras everywhere. Cameras everywhere. Every single person has a cell phone, and they go to these town hall meetings with a bunch of freaking lunatics. Like, how many? I don't know why I'm talking about Bigfoot, chasing Bigfoot, but I just love Bobo. And then the other guy is like, I think his name's like Matt Moneymaker or something. It's just ridiculous. They're like, yeah, they often signal in bursts of 3 to 4, which means that it's time to take a water break, and then they collect. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh God, I hate this. This is why I hate people. And again, SoFi's going back down the more I talk about Bigfoot. But so basically my whole shtick here, if you want to get down to the nitty gritty, is that they're not guessing about 2026 because they can predict these tech revenues, and the rest of the business is largely predictable. Remember what I was talking about when people said, oh, NOTO's way too conservative, only predicting 2 rate cuts in 2024. This is back when everybody else thought maybe we get 4 rate cuts, 5 rate cuts. Some people were even saying 6 rate cuts. And that was very rosy, but this inflation has proven sticky, as the experts like to say. And, maybe we'll get 1 rate cut, probably at the most 2, but you just have to wait and see. Nobody knows what's going to happen. I mean, nobody can predict exactly what the economy is going to do, what Mr. Market's going to do, how this loan book's going to look. They can definitely start selling off, I think, some more of their loans, free up more loan capacity, and that will kind of at least temper this argument that their accounting system affects reserve ratios. And if you basically switch the accounting to the accounting system most banks use, their reserve ratios go from 17 down to like 10. But again, I have discussed this with an expert. Says you cannot do that statically. You can't just flip it, because you're looking at values of assets and just completely skewing them. You have to start with one accounting system and then stick with it. And basically, it will all come out in the wash at the end, because whether you hold those loans, whether you sell those loans, over time, SoFi's accounting system reflects the performance of the company. And while they were originating a lot of personal loans, the value of those loans look good. But the thing is, those loans have held up, and there's demand for those loans, and the defaults have not by any means gotten out of control. So there's basically why it's FUD. It's not FUD in the sense that it could come to pass if things fall apart, and SoFi would be in big trouble. Yeah, but almost every new company without a huge financial reserve, company that would need to raise money. But then again, guys, interest rates in that scenario, if everything falls apart, the Fed is going to be cutting. They're going to realize they overshot the mark. They're going to cut interest rates down to 0. There'll be easy money SoFi can get, and then there will be just a massive, massive demand for their loans, which again, they'll be able to front load those loans and kind of prop up their numbers again. So it all goes in a cycle. There's nothing corrupt or dishonest about it. It's just another accounting system that most banks don't use. But remember, when SoFi chose this accounting system, they weren't a bank. They weren't making personal loans. They were just this little sleepy student loan company until Cham Wow got a hold of them, put this SPAC up our crack, put a rocket in our pocket. And now we're surfing the wave right to, years of disappointment. But anyway, guys, welcome and hello and welcome. I am running for office, of course. Alberto Bertie Avila is my running mate. Hello and welcome. I know some value investors that are actually starting to take a look at SoFi, believe it or not, because this stock actually works out a lot better if you have a value and a long-term mindset, because you see where the cash flows are going to go over time. And even this article, which is quite bearish, if you look at his conclusions, he's basically talking about, how he's bullish over like a 5-year time horizon, but over the short term, this stock is being used by shorts sort of as a hedge against weakness in, consumer debt in terms of the macro environment. So, institutions are just shorting the stock at this time for that reason, and it's not going to get let out sort of in the short term or in the midterm. So he's a hold on the stock. But the problem, I think, with this mindset is that even these bears, this isn't going to kill the company. It's like, okay, it's going to hit the stock price and then I'll buy at the lows. And I think a fair argument is, the price is pretty low right now. And I think a lot of that risk is priced in. They're like, well, banks trade at book value. This is not just a bank. And that's where I get into the tech side. And that's where you just have to say, is management just completely making up these tech customers? I mean, LaPointe is telling you these customers are there. They already exist. They're already signed up. The revenue's starting. The revenue is going to kick in even heavier in the near future. Read what he said. Is he lying? Is he completely making that up? Do they not understand the type of revenues Galileo is going to be bringing in 2026? I don't know. By my calculation, by my timeline, they should be able to look at the customers they're talking to right now, those that they've signed up, and have a real good understanding of where they're going to be, at least toward the beginning of 2026, end of 2025. And if you listen to LaPointe, he sounds very confident. Anyway, guys, welcome and hello and welcome. So, again, I'm not going to read this whole article to you. It's a little bit dry, a little bit numbers oriented, but it's relatively short, and I would just highly recommend you read that over on Seeking Alpha IP Banking Research. Just basically structurally, they're just the mechanics who are utilizing this stock for their own purposes are not going to let it go right now, regardless of the fundamentals. That's basically what he's saying. Fundamentals could be pretty good. They could be problematic in terms of the accounting. I just think that's overblown. I think SoFi's loans are fine. I just think management is planning for a worst case scenario, and I don't think that scenario is extremely likely to emerge at this point. I think the economy just looks pretty strong. And for SoFi's borrowers sort of at the upper end of that consumer spectrum to just say, screw it, I'm going to let my debt default, I'm going to let that charge off. That doesn't normally happen. For people that have good jobs, good careers, high incomes, those don't tend to be the people that get hit in a recession. Those people tend to keep paying their bills. And that's why SoFi lends to those people. Now, of course, they're having a lot of problems on the credit card side, but that's minuscule. That really doesn't make any difference to the actual bottom line. I think SoFi is really trying to mitigate risk, hedging appropriately. They're trying to push their business into areas that are less risky, less cyclical, longer term customers in terms of Galileo, in terms of financial services, in terms of deposits coming in. And I think we're going to see that jump into business banking. I think it's going to come before you know it. And to be honest with you, sorry, I'm just fighting off a cold, and I get ear infections constantly. So, painful. But I had to pop them ears like coming off a cheap red eye. Oh, just flew in. Boy, my arm's tired. But anyway, guys, any of you fine folks here from Cleveland, Frokes. What's a froke? Sounds like one of those sporks, but it's a folks and a forks. Anyway, guys, I forget what I was talking about, but basically, if you look at the business SoFi is building, it very, very soon will not be completely dependent on these personal loans. People are like, well, they just might kill, they just might kill the baby in the crib. They just might throw out the baby with the bathwater because these personal loans, their loans are not going to default in numbers that are going to kill the company. They could sell off more of these loans today if they want. They have plenty of buyers for these loans. These loans are the best loans in this sector. There's buyers for these loans and high quality buyers, institutional investors, insurance companies. They're not selling this on some junk secondary market. You think you come to NOTO? Tony Notes is the one who knocks. You weak-kneed, pencil-neck pieces of don't say that. Anyway, guys, welcome and hello and welcome. Mustang Riders here. Danny Dimes, of course, the great Danny Dimes. John Bland is here, picking up shares like it's his job. Back like he never left. It's our buddy Kareem. Forrest is here. Johnny Boy is here. Eric Modernell. Okay, yeah, that's exactly how it looks. I'm just stupid, Eric. Sorry. Modernell, and it's not a stupid name. Okay, fair enough. It's not a stupid name. It's a difficult name for a stupid YouTuber to pronounce. Are you happy now, Eric? Modernell. That's not difficult at all. Versa Tennis Clips, also 325. Picked up some shares. I didn't buy today. I bought a bunch the other day at 643 and then 648. So I don't really have any more dry powder right now for SoFi unless they kick this turd down into the fives. I'll find some. I'll give some more blood. Holding this diaper since 2021. It's buying every dip, holding it till 2026. I think many of us are in the same boat. Eric Modern L. SJ Tavares, what's going on, SJ? How you doing? I wish SJ standard for good luck. I don't see how that's possible, at least in English. But anyway, sup, Jay? SJ, what's going on? Mark LeBlanc is here, loaded up at 6.325, and boing, rocket moon eggplant emojis. I don't know about eggplant, but Mark might have some mine in the gutter. Anyway, guys, sub and like this turd. Don't do it, guys. Don't listen to Not a Lurker. He has ulterior motives. He wants the channel to grow and succeed. It's not just a bitter chunky monkey. YouTubers' dreams and hopes have been crushed by SoFi management sandbagging this turd so they can pump it in 2026 and get their stock options, get tens of millions of dollars of free money, while we wallow in misery trying to make the payments on our mobile homes and Peloton bikes through our Upstart and Affirm accounts. Hey, can I pay for my Walmart groceries in 5 easy payments on buy now, pay later? Like, go fuck yourself. Get the fuck out. Security. Yeah, another Affirm customer. Look out. Hit the bricks. Kick rocks. No, you cannot buy now and pay later for your, your creamer, a la the Big Lebowski. Steven Zunker coming out of his bunker, still holding. Good to see you, just above water. Yeah, we're all holding our breath, Steven, until the floodwaters recede and we can breathe again. It's not financial advice, and definitely don't sub and like. It's the worst mistake you've ever made. I was trying to remember the name of the film, The Ring. If you sub and like, you get much the same fate as the people who watched the short film in the movie The Ring, and that's no good for anybody. 2 years is a very long sales cycle. It's a very long sales cycle, John, but what I've been told is then it takes some time for the revenues to kick in because of how they get paid. They don't just get paid the day of the contract. They have to then switch all the customers over. Transactions have to start, volume has to ramp up, and then that takes a couple quarters. So I am not at all claiming, I'm not just listening to Tevis, but I've read other opinions on sort of how this is going to kick into 2026. And there's a lot of smart people. Not saying I'm one of them at all, but I just read them and I try to sort of, aggregate, understand, crystallize the points they're making. If I'm not doing that correctly, John Bland, love to have you on the show, and you could tell us what's what. If you know what you're talking about, we could, voir dire your bona fides. Don't think you're going to come on here and Ben Affleck me and just go, you suspect, Topa. You suspect, Danny Deals. Like, you got to come with more than that. You got to come with more than some capri pants and a pair of topsiders. Oh, I'm trying, Alberto. God, it's a Monday. Haven't had anything to eat. I'm out of coffee. God, what a day. I'd throw myself out the window, but it's not high. No, I wouldn't. Life is beautiful, guys. Even if SoFi's down, what are you going to do? Hopefully you own some NVIDIA, or you own some, Palantir, you own something that's going up. I own some stocks that are doing well. Unfortunately, SoFi is absolutely not one of them, but it is fighting back. I mean, 35 million shares, that's some nice volume. And you see there, obviously the algo is holding on, but there's some orders clearly coming in. I mean, even if a lot of people think it's going to 5 and it's a hedge and it's a shorting stock, clearly there are some institutions that want to buy down here in the low 6s. I mean, you had your opportunity to almost hit 630, did hit 630 today. So I think plenty of folks are very happy to buy the stock. I mean, institutions are buying up in the 8s. Of course, ARC, Fidelity, we're buying, I think, high 7s recently, heavily. So, I'm not sure Kathy Wood knows what she's doing at all, but she tends to buy, high flyers, high. I mean, she really, hit a rip with Tesla, but, so I got a little bit lucky on Tesla too. So it doesn't mean you're any type of genius. You could just be a fat asshole and make some money on Tesla. You just happened to buy it, back when nobody wanted to own it. But anyway, she had a lot more than I did. I wish I had enough to, get a Lambro or something, but I just had a little bit. So anyway, you make some good decisions, you make some bad decisions, but I wish Kathy Wood would just step in, or somebody of her ilk, and just buy an absolute shit ton of shares off this floor at 730, at 630. You're buying tepidly at 780, 765, 760, whatever it is. I mean, nothing has changed. She knows Anthony Noto. Why would you not, really lean into the stock when it's 20% lower? That's what kind of worries me about these institutional types, is like, what are you, a retarder? What are you, some weak-kneed, dice throwing, country club, golf hustling, shoe shine boy? What are you, a truck stop all-star? What's going on? Like, do you have any conviction in this stock? You're averaging down to like Teladoc and some of this garbage, which I think Teladoc's a pretty good value at this stage of the game, just for their data. But anyway, guys, welcome and hello and welcome. I don't really know what I'm talking about, but it's just odd to me that the institutions were buying when, the narrative was, they're basically not buying the fear. It's like, I just think there's a tacit agreement that they're going to hold the stock down, punish retarders, punish call buyers, and then they'll all kind of flip the stock at once. It won't be coordinated. It won't be illegal. It won't be, collusion. It won't be manipulation. It'll just be they all start buying at once. And retarders are left behind, licking their wounds, telling stories of what might have been, getting their, fifth wheel toy hauler RVs repossessed. Sorry, Maud, we got to give up these his and her Harleys and all of our dune buggies. You got the grandkids each their own dune buggy. Got us a 55-foot toy hauler. Got us a F450. Got us a $150,000 pickup truck. Thought it would be prudent, but got it all on easy payments. Financed it all over 15 years. Just didn't work out. Got to turn it all in. Move back into the double wide. But I don't know what I'm talking about, guys. I got to get something to eat. But anyway, hello and welcome. Welcome and hello. Just a wild day. And honestly, like I said, it looks like Nessie on the chart. Looks like the Loch Ness monster. That's all I can call this chart. It just absolutely borrow, destroy the stock, and then pump it. I can give you a check of the live short interest, but what good it do I tell you if you don't know already? Quote from the film Hoffa. Oh my God. Borrowed. What the funkin' wagnall is going on here? So this is usually delayed slightly, but borrowed changes. This is institutional stuff. This is in reaction to those shares being sold. When this is kind of what the Roaring Kitty thing is about, what people in the know are trying to explain. When these huge institutional moves happen, whether it be an option, whether it be a dump, people have to make counter moves to shore up their position, get out of their position. So this is just quite unusual. 27 million shares net borrowing on 35 million shares actually churned. And the stock is still down 1%. This is just very unusual. I don't know what to make of it. Perhaps some of you guys understand it more better. But welcome and hello, Tap Water Break. Thank you, Ukeko. Anthony Noto, the Rain Man. Yeah. Gotta watch Wapner. Just a EBITDA. Gotta watch Wapner. He's like, but Anthony, it's been a great quarter, but your share price is absolutely getting hammered again. I'm an excellent driver. Just a EBITDA. Noto's just shuddering in a corner with his RSUs. Like, okay, that's Anthony Noto, CEO of SoFi. I'm an excellent driver. Like, yep, we're sure you are. Anyway, guys, welcome and hello and welcome. The Messiah of Deals is filtered water. I wish I had some filtered Celsius. I don't want Celsius. Reverse osmosis helps with halitosis. Mark, you can't smell my bad breath through the YouTube. That's a new feature. You must be a premium subscriber. You must have joined my subscription where you can smell my bad breath. Anyway, I haven't eaten a breakfast burrito or anything, so my breath should be pretty minty from my mouthwash because I'm also out of coffee, which is probably why I'm so grumpy. SoFi premiums are good. Alberto's always cashing checks and breaking necks, no matter the scenario. You know that. That's why I gave him the wrench in case he has to beat one of you within an inch of your life. Gladiator is a great movie. I completely agree with you on that one, Ross. Versa Tennis Clips, once again, if I remember right, he told we're going to see a glimpse of tech side success later. Yeah, it's coming. He's saying it's ramping now, Versa Tennis Clips. Is Versa Tennis Clips the only one of you without shit in your ears? He's the only one who can track, the only one with any active listening skills, the only one who puts any stock in what Chris Lapointe says. And it stands to reason because tennis is a thinking man's game. That's how even as a 300-pound fat man, I'm able to beat many thin, really good players who are better than me because I break them down mentally. And they're like, oh my God, I'm losing to this old fat guy. Like, you're damn right you are, Skippy. Get out your checkbook. We're playing for pinks. Anyway, no, I'm sure Versa Tennis Clips could crush me. Who knows? He could be not even a tennis player. He could just design tennis clips. But I have a feeling he plays the game. Anyway, it's the Rifleman here. It's Chuck Connors. Fine, I like, but I won't sub because it will unsub. Yeah, do not. Chuck Connors. Now, you might shoot your rifle. You don't even pull the trigger. He doesn't even pull the trigger. He's just advancing it with that lever action. And it's popping off rounds, getting rounds down range. So you might be big leaguing me because you get off more rounds from your rifle. You're a lawman. You got that dimple here. But anyway, it's the Rifleman. Yeah, whatever you do, don't sub. If you must, but definitely don't sub. You'll get a computer virus. Steve in the Mountains got his windbreaker on. Hello and welcome, Steve. We got Mike Hill. Alberto's a blockhead. Mike Hill, great pun. Wait, hold on, guys. Hello, Mike. Hello and welcome. Let's see, guys. Alberto, I bought the dip again. The Rifleman is here. Hello and welcome, Mike Hill. We already talked to you. Quadtards, Ross. We talked to what did Ross saying? Money though, don't think it will last anything. I'm not sure what you meant. My eyes are glossed over. I need coffee. My brain is shutting down. I wonder what the cost average was they sold. Yeah, Brian, what I'm told is they had almost $500 million cost basis and they got back like around 135 million. So they absolutely got bent over a barrel and showed the 50 states. Yeah, they lost a huge percentage of their investment there, like 70% or something. Just if the old brain cells worked, I could tell you the X percentage. But Richard Vaughn is here. Welcome and hello, Richard Vaughn. Richard Vaughn, I saw that name a little while ago, making an intelligent comment, I think, on a previous video. So welcome back. Thank you. Welcome and hello, guys. Unpoco Moss. Forrest is here. I ran into a guy in Arizona hunting Bigfoot, had the lights and cameras all over his truck. I think more they're just trying to pick up women and they say they're hunting Bigfoot. So it's kind of some of those like hippie chicks who get into like weird stuff like frisbee golf or stuff like that. Like the guys think maybe they're going to get laid or something because they're weird. I don't know. But I don't think if they think they're going to find Bigfoot, I think they're going to be looking a while because I think if like an 8-foot, ape lived virtually everywhere across the entire country that's covered with cameras and sensors and satellites and, people with cell phones and ring cameras and security cameras, where virtually almost every inch of everything is covered by a camera. The only way that could happen is if there are very, very few living in some like deep ravine in like Papua New Guinea where there's like nobody there and they discover a new species, and it's usually like a little tiny thing, just not an ape that like lives all over the world. You're like, well, you could like Boba, like, will they call it a Yeti or a Sasquatch or a Wahi or like, but they live in groups of 5 to 6 when they're down in Central Florida, and they like to mostly eat nuts and berries. And when one dies, they gather and they do a spiritual call. And sometimes they'll do a paddle out, like if they can, they make hollow canoes and they just do a paddle out in their honor. But that's what they do in terms of the groups and the families. It's like, oh boy. Anyway, hello and welcome. Dream of Stuff, 3K settling tomorrow. Putting 75% into that into SoFi. I think it's a good entry point, Dream of Stuff. But again, I do like to tell people, don't put all your money in SoFi. Like, be reasonable. Invest in SoFi. I'm invested in SoFi, but I believe in diversification, guys. I mean, that might surprise people, but SoFi is not my number one stock. And I highly recommend that you diversify your investments. Don't put too much into SoFi. Don't put too much into any stocks. Not meant as a criticism of SoFi. I think it's a great entry point. I think it's a great place to buy. I don't see the stock going to 5, but it could. SoFi is definitely a proxy for Bigfoot exposure. What's up, Savage? Salutations from Reno, Nevada. Using covered call money to hang out with family and, of course, drinking for free while I gamble. Nice. Cool, Savage. Enjoy your trip up to the biggest little city in the world. I love the Tahoe area, but since I'm just taking it in the shorts here on most of my stocks, probably my next vacation will be there. But I think Reno's really underrated. Like, Reno's kind of cool. It's got a cool vibe, and it's just a little bit different. Like, if you've never been to Reno, it's kind of cool. You check it out. You go to Tahoe, you go to Yosemite. There's a lot in the area, but anyway, thanks for checking in, Savage. Appreciate it. Yeah, he's always banking on those covered calls. I guess if you sold puts, you got assigned when it dropped. No big deal. It's what many of you wanted to happen who were selling the puts. M. Russo, watching them Bigfoot shows draws you in and kind of leaves it. Yeah. That's funny, M. Russo. Yeah, I mean, it's just SoFi blather. It's not really much to say. We're not far from book value. I thought book value was maybe like 430 or 440 or something like that. Have to double check, but I guess it depends how you calculate it and who you look at. Let's see. Hello, Maria. Good to see you, Maria Powell. Selling 7s for January. Want cheaper calls? Buy some 8 calls. Come on. Guy wants to sell. He's like a used car selling. Come on, what do I have to do to sell you this call today? It's like, he'll sell you a call from Reno. He don't care. He'll sell you here or there. He'll sell you a call anywhere. Mr. Premium, the option. Too many bagel heads in here. Not hitting like button. I don't disagree with that. I would hit the thumbs down button and get the hell out of here as soon as possible. I agree with the analysts. So far, it'd be fine. Plus years, short stocks, potentially. It definitely has the potential, but TP, you have to kind of acknowledge that's if things kind of fall apart. Like, for SoFi's loan book to completely fall apart, the economy has to completely fall apart, and people with good jobs have to lose those jobs and quit paying their bills and sort of those career. So I think there will be pain, but will it be 3? I don't know if it'll be all-time lows at this point. It just depends. Like, I don't know. What are the write-downs on that loan book going to look like? What is that going to mean for EPS? Like, how bad is it going to be? I mean, there's just there's a huge spectrum of disaster. There's like disaster, like, oh my God, I got a flat tire, I'm late for my meeting. And there's disaster like, I shit my pants at a wedding. And then there's disaster like, hurricanes. There's all different levels of calamity. So, SoFi could take some pain and then recover and be okay and come maybe down the 4s and, recover by 2026, much, much higher. Who knows? Management, is thinking they're going to be much, much higher like 2027, and EPS is going to be through the roof. It seems like some of these authors and analysts think they're just dead wrong, overly optimistic, don't understand how this tech business actually works, even though they're sort of running it. And if you look at the folks who are in charge at Galileo, they're very, very able, and they come from organizations, like I said, like Apple, Google. These are not, I think the guy from USA Bank left recently, but these are very, very good people. I mean, look at their general counsel who they hired. I mean, this guy was just running, consumer business legal department for, I think, a couple of the different mega banks. So he has the regulatory experience, he has the connections, and they brought in the lady from the New York Fed. So I think business banking is going to be the game changer. And I think that's why you have not seen this option suite come out. They know how important it is to us Karens. We always Karen on about options. Give me options. We can go do your fucking straddle somewhere else. Go straddle someone else. Anthony knows, like, stop straddling me. It's like, I know you want options. I know you want options, but I gotta watch Wapner. It's like, I gotta watch Wapner. I'm trying to do business banking. Business banking more important than Karens. Business over Karens. It's like, geez, cuts like a knife. He's like, yeah, but it feels so right. It's like, anyway, guys, welcome and hello and welcome. So basically, I think they are building out the business banking platform. I think that's what the developers are busy with. I think that's what Galileo's busy with. And I think the discussions with regulators are ongoing. I don't think they can talk about it. I don't think they will talk about it until it's done and dusted. But that's the only thing that makes sense. It's the only thing that makes sense. Look at the hires. Look at what they're doing. Look at who their customers are in terms of student loans. This small business banking customer is oft ignored because I am that guy. And the business is ripe for the picking. And the customer base is right there on their wheel. They expand the wheel. They make it into a figure eight. They make it into an infinity sign. Whatever you want to call it, I don't care. But the wheel expands, the customer acquisition costs go down, the margins go up, rinse and repeat. Will the accounting system SoFi use ultimately kill the company? I don't believe that. I don't think honest people who understand what they're talking about believe that. That's me. Maybe somebody can make that counter argument. Set some stinkers, 635, and boom, got 200 more shares. Yeah, that's the way to do it, guys. I mean, if you're going to buy long shares, sell puts. I mean, what do you have to lose? You can put premium in your pocket, you dumb, fucking useless pikers. You goddamn amateurs. Oh, I hate you guys. I hate you. Just feeding the beast. You're paying for the savages of Wall Street to go gallivant around Reno like some kind of princeling. Oh, you guys are so stupid. Why don't you just sell the put? You get a share, you get the premium. You buy shares that much cheaper. You reduced your cost basis. Be smart, collect premium. Let the power of time decay of options work for you. Let someone else take that depreciation. Your options depreciate quickly. That's what time decay is. Think about it like that. The premium you paid is only worth something if that catalyst happens quickly. If it doesn't happen quickly, time decay makes your option worthless. You stupid jerk. God, I hate you guys. Anyway, welcome and hello. Chris LaPointe is typing. Anthony Noto is not equivalent to personality. It's pretty funny. Savage, you're pretty funny. Yeah, that's good. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. Anyway, Noto sounds much more lovely than dude. So give me a call. I'm calling him Anthony Bobo from here on out. Yeah, guys, gotta love Bobo. Yeah, the thing is, the thing about Squatches is they have their rituals, and they also write books, and they have libraries where they lend those books, and they're still in VHS right now. What happened was a lot of the Squatches started using laser discs, so their technology was delayed, but they're moving into DVDs, and I think they'll be streaming soon. Matt Moneymakers over there looking at me. What in the actual fuck are we doing? I don't know if they're as bad as the Ghost Hunter guy, Zach Baggins. They get out like that little noisemaker box. I mean, guys, this is not during COVID. I mean, maybe you admit it or not, but a lot of you guys watch this stuff. I canceled my TV. We don't even have TV or cable anymore, but we don't have time working so much and making these stupid absolute garbage videos. But anyway, that ghost hunter thing where they just come in, they have that little like box and it makes like a static noise. And they're like, did you hear that? It said room. It's like, room. It's like, oh my God, dude. People actually believe this stuff. I don't know. Did you hear that? He's like, yeah, it was a really loud scream sound that was generated by our production team, our sound guy. He's like, oh, you're not supposed to say that. It's like, oh shit, I'm sorry, bro. Anyway, yeah, everybody's such a bro. Like, it's so cool. I'm gonna get off of this because I'm just not really saying anything. I'm talking about ghost hunters. I'm talking about Bigfoot. Guys, this area is so squatchy. Like, you can just sense it. Like, so many people showed up to our meeting and the area is so squatchy. Like, where'd you see it? It's like, I was taking a shower and I wasn't decent, and I saw him just, sitting out on our porch, just gazing in at my tatas. He's like, okay, it's kind of weird, but did he try to get food or anything? He's like, no, he's just oogling me. What are they like? Out of the like 300 people at the community center, probably 80% of them have seen a squatch. They've never been able to get a legitimate photo, never a hair, never a DNA sample. Like, well, that's totally normal because despite being very, very social and being seen constantly, they're also very private and secretive. Oh, God. Anyway, just reminds me how much I hate people, but how much I like. People will watch anything. People will believe anything. So they'll believe anything bullish. They'll believe any FUD. But just have to look at the actual numbers. Look at the ER. Look at how the loan defaults go. I mean, if things fall apart, they fall apart. There's no argument I can make. If it goes bad and they have to take, these horrible draconian write-downs, the EPS is going to go to shit, and so is the stock price. So is our investment. It's going to be very painful. Now, I think we could sort of be in for a medium landing, and SoFi's customers could be fine. And when we see some rate cuts, it's kind of kicking and screaming. It's slow. It's hard. We're not getting down to that 2% target quickly. But I think if we do see that one rate cut, you're going to see a ton of demand kick in for SoFi, and SoFi is going to be just fine. I don't think SoFi's balance sheet is as bad as some of these turds are saying it is. Yes, they're not going to change their accounting system overnight. And yes, they will get hit harder if things fall apart because they're carrying that more of that risk to the back end. All true. Does that mean the sky's falling? In my opinion, no. I know Not a Lurker ain't scared. He ain't scared. Does J Money look scared? Dude, he's like, SoFi's falling. He's shaving his head with a fucking straight razor. Not even a nick. He just got run over by a truck. What'd you bitches do today? Dude, J Money does more before 5 a.m. than most of you cocksuckers do in a week. Sorry to use the term cock. That's inappropriate for a daytime Ricky Lake style fat Karen program. Anyway, guys, it ain't easy's here. We know that. I think he's giving some greetings, some holy greetings from the Middle East. Welcome and hello. It ain't easy. Ben G is here. What's up, SoFi family? Welcome and hello. Beach Boys here. Daddy Noto disowned me the minute I was born. He never owned me. How can he disown me if he never owned me? The bastard owes me 40 some years of child support. 40 years of child support. Anyway, now let's step away from the wrench. Hola, y bienvenidos. Well, Savage is here. We already talked to him a bunch. We're bored of him. Hello and welcome. Holding strong. Even though I'm not a lurker. Guys, I got to get off this stream. I haven't said anything in so long. Let me give you one more check of the live short interest, just for shits and giggles, and because it was going absolutely ham. So yeah, still up at 27 million. I don't know. Maybe some of you guys can tell me exactly what that means, exactly why that's happening today. I know it's a reaction to that sale. I know that it's got to be. Otherwise, the stock should be crashing. Something happened. It's some kind of counter bet, but I need somebody much, much smarter than me to figure it out. Oh, Savage again. I just want to read his comments because he is pretty funny. I recommend all of you paper-handed sissy boys to go listen to Breathe Again by Tony Braxton. That's pretty funny, man. I don't know. You're much funnier on my channel than you are like your videos. You're like sweaty and nervous. You come here, you're light, you're funny. And maybe it's in Reno. Maybe you need to change your maybe you need to remotely broadcast from Reno. You seem a lot more charming and make a lot more sense there, buddy. That's pretty good, man. Why the fuck do I have to own anything else? I own SoFi, I cover. Yeah, no, I mean, yes, because you're employing a strategy that makes sense. That's why you're not Karening. That's what. Don't you understand what I'm trying to say to these guys? Collect premium. If you're collecting premium all the time, you're not going to be Karening. The anti-Karen is premium. Collect premium. Stop paying premium and then just winking on about, my stock didn't go up. My option's worthless. Yeah, of course it is, because you're an asshole. Ugh. If you're going to buy short-dated calls, flip them on the pop. There's one pop. You get one chance. The pros sell. Ugh. You sell the dip and smell the rip because you're a useless piece of shit. Benji is here. She's due. Yeah, I completely agree. That's what I'm worried. Why was she not buying already? Toots waiting to see confirmation, upward momentum. I don't know what the fuck they're waiting for, Benji. I thought they should have been buying, I thought they should have been buying here. I thought the thing would be backstopped higher than here. But the mechanics take it where they want to take it. That's the way it goes. NOTO would Vanguard with he's absolutely right. What's up, Klaus? Poco Mus Army needs digging, hold tough. Yeah, a bunch of paper-handed schmucks, Klaus. Good luck. But hey, thanks for watching, buddy. Appreciate you. Klaus is the smart money in terms of what you turds are used to. So we got stop console wars, no business counts yet, price cuts, real estate is looking good. So his position to make us very happy. Stop console wars, of course, bullish. Richard Vaughn, rock on deals. Dice Sense None the Richer is here. That's a new one. I guess I deserved it. Stop Console Wars official. Say my name. Isn't it? Didn't you say Thies? Is it Thies or Dice? It was one of those. I can't remember, man. I'm old. My brain don't work too good. Give me a break. Yeah, at least I'm not saying again. Dice. I don't know. It rhymes with nice. I'm just gonna say it how I want. This program is not meant for a foreign and or intelligent audience. So T-Jizz, is it pronounced the you guys are horrible. Grow up. Hello and welcome. Official bank of the NBA, turn around. Stop console wars. Read his comments if you want to feel better. Richard Vaughn. Thanks, Richard. I appreciate it. Rock on as well. Business counts. We already heard from you. Stockman Mark. Toto is here. Notorious ANT. Let's go. Okay, guys, getting us some deals on SoFi with the shitty stream. Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm dragging the stock down single-handedly. On that note, on that bit of constructive criticism, I will go lick my wounds, guys. Thanks for watching. It's Un Poco Mas. Stock sitting about $6.40. Wild roller coaster of a day on a Nessie sea serpent pattern and lively comments, guys. Thanks for watching Un Poco Mas. Want to thank Alberto and especially Not a Lurker, J Money for producing the show today. It's Un Poco Mas, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace. I'm out of here.